Let's revise the easy to score waste management chapter within 15 minutes. Thank you. Hello everyone, let's start the chapter waste management. And this chapter is very easy and you can score well from this chapter because the number of questions from this chapter is very limited. So first thing you need to know, what are the things you have to study from this chapter? Why do you need to focus? So here you go. First things you need to know, the meaning of waste. Next, the impact of waste accumulation in general you need to know. Then need for waste management you need to focus. Then you need to know about methods of safe waste disposal, maximum weightage from this chapter given on this part. That what are the safe disposal methods? That is segregation, dumping and composting. You need to know about meaning and its importance. And the last, you need to focus on the 3R. It means reduce, reuse and recycle. So those things you need to concentrate. First things you need to know about what is waste. So here the definition is very important. Waste is anything discarded, rejected, surplus, abandoned or otherwise released into the environment in a manner that could have an impact on the environment. So obviously here it will be negative impact. So this definition is very important and each word you need to focus. I am repeating, anything discarded, rejected, surplus, abandoned or otherwise released into the environment in a manner that could have an impact to the environment, that also in negative manner. So here you can see that is waste. Next, you need to know what are the sources of waste. So waste we generally get from different sources, like due to the mining activity, due to the agricultural or forestry activities, industry. From industry also you are getting waste, and every day in our domestic household places we are producing lot of waste materials. Next, due to the construction activities, especially for demolition of buildings and all, we are getting waste. And next, wastewater treatment, from there also we are getting some amount of waste materials. Now is very important, we need to manage the waste. Why we need to manage the waste? Because if we will not manage the waste properly, so day by day the volume of waste material it will increase and that it will start accumulate with our environment and then it will start impacting on us negatively and we will get different type of diseases, environmental pollution it will be there, different type of natural hazards it will take place. So those are the reason. Now waste management is the collection, transport, processing, recycling or disposal and as well as monitoring of waste materials. The whole things together is called waste management. I am repeating, waste management is the collection, transport, processing, recycling or disposal and overall monitoring of waste materials. That's come under the waste management. Now what happens if we will not manage the waste properly? So obviously as you can see that it will impact on our health, it will impact on our socio-economic condition, affect our coastal or marine environment and affect on our climate. So global warming, the causes of global warming, that is the waste materials. Next, importance of waste management. All those waste, otherwise if we will not manage, so what will happen? Day by day it will increase in the environment. So then afterwards what will happen? The accumulation it will be there, waste accumulation it will be there through the agricultural crops or marine life, aquatic life, and then this it will include in our ecosystem, it will come through our food chain, it will impact the overall that ecosystem of our world. So that is the problem with waste management. Now what it will happen, at last we will get different type of diseases and environmental degradation it will take place. That's why it's very important to manage the waste and nowadays you can see if we manage the waste properly we are able to generate resources from there. So that's why waste management is very important. Now how you have to do? So first thing you have to do, remember one thing, maximum problem it happened from the waste as we are not collecting the waste separately. So segregation is the key to get rid of the waste materials. Now what you have to do? So we are getting different type of waste materials. Some are biodegradable, some are non-biodegradable, some are metallic, some are non-metallic, some are medicinal or medical and medical waste. So those are the different type of waste materials are there. So what you can do? We can segregate it. If we segregate it at the beginning, so different waste materials, it will be easy for us to get rid of those things easily. So that's why you must have observed nowadays in the public places there are different type of waste bins we are using for collection of different type of waste material. So what are those? So here you can see the green color intended of biodegradable or wet waste like the food scrap, garden waste and organic materials. Blue bins that typically used for non-biodegradable or dry waste such as plastic, metals and papers. Red bins basically designated for hazardous or medical waste in certain context like the biomedical waste. And yellow bins, it is used for glass bottle, clean the clipboard, newspaper, plastic and office paper, aluminum cans, milk and juice cartons and disposal coffee cup. So all those things it can be collected in the yellow bins. So these are the different color bins we are using for collecting the different waste materials separately. Now why to collect separately? Because if we collect separately, then it will become easy for us to manage it, because different waste materials it can be managed differently, and then it will be making the process easier. Next, here you can see there are different methods of waste disposal. So one, the open dumping, very common. You can see just outskirts of your cities or villages there is a dumping stations are there, dumping grounds are there, there we are dumping. Then landfill and then the incineration. Those are the different methods are there. We'll discuss those things in details later on. Now next, another methods are there like the biogas production, then composting and vermicomposting. Now those are the other methods of waste disposal. Next, we will discuss now in details what are those. So first method, that is the open dumping. It's very simple. What we are doing, we are collecting the waste materials from the locality and we are taking it little bit away from the populated area, and there in open space we are dumping it. So advantages there is very cheap, but what are the disadvantages? Disadvantage are there when you keep those things in open areas. So what will happen? It will create the foul smell and it will become a breeding ground for mosquitoes and different type of insects, rats. So that may cause diseases and it will be not good for the environment. So those are the problem with open dumping. Next, another method is there, landfill. Now the problem of open dumping can be sorted out with the landfill. Now what you have to do, we will dig the land, we will dig the land and we will put all the waste materials inside that hole, and after that what you can do, we can cover it with concrete materials or the soil, and then we will be get rid of those waste materials. Here there will be no foul smell, no problem of insects and rat or such type of things. So we can get rid of these things easily. But what are the problem? We require a lot of space, as well as it will be expensive because we need to manage it in that way. We need to make the construction with concrete materials. So those are the problem with landfill. So there are some advantages and disadvantages are there. But advantages are there, the environment, the air pollution, we can prevent through the landfilling. But disadvantage, it is expensive, as well as it takes time. So those are the problem, and even the groundwater it may get affected with that. So those are the problem of landfill. Next, all these methods, open dumping and landfill, will be not able to reduce the volume of waste materials. But here you can see the another techniques are there. Those are called the composting. Now in the composting, what will happen? That we can get rid of this biodegradable waste materials easily. Biodegradable waste materials, it can be compost. We can convert it to the compost. Here we will use the microorganism to get rid of those things, and it will reduce the volume of the waste materials, and on the other hand we will be able to get the compost, which can be utilized for the agricultural activity as a fertilizer, right? So those are the advantage of composting. But here one disadvantages are there, that is very slow and it can be used only for biodegradable waste materials. Now also, as I said, it is very slow. It takes few weeks, to make the compost. But here's the another methods are there. Those are called the vermicomposting. Now, what are those vermicomposting? Here, in place of microorganisms, we will use the insects, right, or the worms. The worms or insects, it will make the process faster, especially the earthworms. So it will make the process faster, and in that way we will be able to get the manure quickly. So those are the advantage of vermicomposting. Now, what are the disadvantage? Careful management required, space requirement is there, and additional cost it will be required. And although it will be little bit faster than the composting, but still it required a few days. So those are the problem with composting. Now there is a comparison between composting and vermicomposting. Composting, here you will use the microorganism, and for vermicomposting we will use the earthworm. So, and the composting process, it will be a little bit slow, but vermicomposting process, it will be little faster than the composting. So now the things are there which are non-biodegradable waste materials, or which are the solid materials that we cannot get rid of any other way. So the volume of such type of waste materials, it will increase more and more, and sometime it will destroy the environment, like spreading a different type of diseases, especially from the medical waste. So those things we can use the process incineration. Now what is the incineration? We'll simply burn those waste materials. Now what is the problem with incineration? The problem of incineration is there, it will create pollution to the environment. But sometimes we have to take this harsh call. Why? Because if we will not manage it properly, then it may spread some diseases and all those things. Sometimes infection it will spread, and so especially for the medical waste materials, right? So here you can see the advantage and disadvantage. Air pollution is the problem, but there is no other option with those type of waste material, so we have to use the incineration method. Next, how we can manage those waste materials? Yes, the best method is there, that's called 3R: reduce, reuse, recycle. First of all, uses of resources we have to reduce. We have to use as per our needs, and there should not be any wastage of resources. So if there will be no wastage of resources, so we don't need to generate the waste materials much more. So in that way, the waste materials also it will be produced less. Next, reuse. We need to focus on such things which we can reuse again and again. Like in place of single-use plastic, we can use the jute bag or cloth bag, that it can be used again and again. Next, recycle. One such type of resources it will be used, and if you can recycle it, that we need to go for it. Like the metal waste materials, so that we can collect separately, and we can do the melting, and then we can reshape those metal in some other product. So in that way we can get rid of those waste materials easily and quickly. That's it from the waste management chapter. Similarly, I'll come with some other videos, chapter wise videos before your exam, so you will not face any problem in your board exam, and you will score well in 2025 board exam for geography subject. And if you have still doubt, what you can do, you can go through my previous videos that I have uploaded, that I have discussed those chapter or topic in details. So if you have any issue, you can go through that. And also there is another option, you can type down in the comment box whatever doubts or query you are having. Before the board exam, I'll record one more videos, so I'll take those doubts, I'll take those doubt question from the videos, and I'll discuss those doubt related queries. So thank you very much for watching KSK Geography, and don't forget to share.